Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Cheyenne, and right now I'm sitting outside of my work. I have about a half hour until I'm supposed to go in. Funny story, I actually got results back for people that I live with that have COVID, so I actually ended up driving home right after this, and now I'm officially on quarantine. And I'm doing my Bible time in my car. I just got breakfast and some Starbucks, but I'm reading Mark 8 today, and I'm gonna be honest, I really didn't want to read my Bible today. I didn't read it yesterday, but 2 days ago I read like 4 chapters because I was just so engulfed in the Lord and what I wanted, to hear from him. And I feel terrible that I didn't want to read my Bible, but I'm here and I'm doing it. And the Lord, I'm just gonna read what I just read and then say what I need to say about it, but I'm gonna read Mark 8 verse 11 through 13. So it says, this is the Christian Standard Version. The Pharisees came and began to argue with him, demanding of him a sign from heaven to test him. Sighing deeply in his spirit, he said, "Why does this generation demand a sign? Truly I tell you, no sign will be given to this generation." Then he left them, got back into the boat, and went to the other side. And when I read that, it really broke my heart, but it also really, sat with me. When it says, demanding of him, the Pharisees demanding of him a sign of heaven to test him. Because we don't have a right to test God. And I don't know my Bible well enough to tell you the exact verse, but I'll look it up in this and put it right here. But there's a verse in the Bible in the part where Jesus was baptized and went out to the desert alone. I think it was a desert, but he went out on his own, and Satan was supposed to tempt him for that time. And there's a point where Jesus even says back to Satan, we shouldn't test God. I wish I knew exactly what it was. Let me see if I can find it. Right here. Matthew 4:7. Jesus told him, "It is also written, do not test the Lord your God." So that broke my heart when I read that the Pharisees were demanding a sign from Jesus to test him, especially because in the verses above that was talking about how Jesus had such compassion for the crowd that was with him at that time. They were with him for 3 days, and he even said, these people, he said, "I have compassion for the crowd because they've already stayed with me for 3 days and have nothing to eat. If I send them home hungry, they will collapse on the way, and some of them will have come a long distance." So he commanded the crowd to sit down on the ground. I'm skipping a bunch. He had 7 loaves. He gave thanks, broke them, and gave them to the disciples to set before the people. He also blessed a few small fish, and they collected 7 large baskets of leftover pieces, and about 4,000 people were there, and they all ate and were satisfied. So he just did a little miracle, or a sign, I guess you could say, from heaven, by blessing these people that he had compassion for, that followed him, his followers, his sheep, him being the shepherd. And then these people come up to him and they're like, "Well, I don't believe you. You need to show me exactly what's wrong. I'm testing you." No. Satan tested Jesus. Satan did. We don't have a right to test God, and neither does Satan. Nobody has the right to test God. Nobody. So it just breaks my heart that these people are demanding something from Jesus, because we have to think about that in our lives as well. We can't test God. We can't demand things from God. We can ask with humility for Jesus' help, but we can't demand something or expect something to happen. And I think that's something that sits so deeply with our generation as well. And that's why it's crazy when I read the Bible, because you see things that are happening still to this day in our world, nothing's changed, and it's really, really sad. And if things have changed, most of the time it's for the worse. But people in our generation all around us are so greedy and so demanding and want satisfaction now and want things now. And if you can't do anything for them, they don't want you in your life. And I feel like people usually go to Jesus for things, for demanding things. They only go to him when they have a grocery list of things that they want from him. They don't go to him just to tell him about their day. Like, I'm gonna start crying. Jesus just wants to be a part of your life and to love you. He just wants your heart. He just wants a relationship with you. Like, imagine you being, for me, I'm a girl, so I'm going to use mother, but if you're a father or a mother and your child only comes to you when they want something from you, they don't come to you just to tell you about your day or spend time with you or talk to you. They only come to you demanding things from you. That would break anybody's heart, especially God, the creator of all things, who has already done so much for us. And we go to him and demand things from him, or test him to see if he's real. And I've done that as well. I am not perfect. When I first became a Christian, I would say all the time, I'm like, well, if you're real, show me something. If you're real, then do this for me. And that's not right of us. We can't demand something from him. And I think in some ways it's okay to say, like, hey, like, I'd really love for you to give me a sign, or I'd really love for you to do this for me, or, you know, like, but for us to demand things from him or to test him is completely, completely wrong, because we have no right. We are not anything in comparison to God. We're mere mortals, and he has chosen to love us. He's chosen to love us and have compassion and to have mercy and grace and forgiveness. And yet most of us still turn still turn our cheek away from him and still slap him in the face when we say cruel things to him or about him. It just breaks my heart. I guess that's all I had to really say. God's really speaking through me, I guess, today. I hope you guys have a great day, and I just needed to share. Hopefully this can help people or open someone's eyes, or I don't know. I'm gonna go.